널 기다렸어.
What up? This is Tasteless and Valdez for tonight's Pro League 2016. How you doing, buddy?
I'm doing great, man. It's going to be a fun cast we got going down here. We're going to see Patience again a little bit later on, so I'm really happy about that. But we do have MVP up against Samsung to start.
It's good to be down here with you, Valdez. I haven't casted with you in a little bit.
Yeah, Pro League took a long break in between the rounds.
It's actually been quite a while, I think.
Yeah. You just been off doing your GSL thing. I've been doing a little bit of SSL.
You've been saving esports over there. I've been saving esports over here.
Taking care of the companies.
That's right. Keeping Starcraft afloat out here. We're about to get this match started. And, dude, we're on the stage.
Yeah, we're on the stage now.
This is my first time coming down here and being on the stage like this. I think this is a great adjustment. They did something great as well at GSL, where we're actually out in the audience now, too.
Yeah, it's really cool what you guys got going on over there. There's standing desk, too. I like that with the table.
Have you tried it yet, a standing desk?
Not yet.
It's like so much better, man.
Yeah.
It's so much better for casting.
Generally, standing is pretty good, you know. Gets your energy levels up. You feel more part of the action.
Yeah,
unfortunately,
absolutely.
it would be kind of weird if we stood up on stage here.
I'm going to do it anyways, man. I'm going to make this look.
All right.
I'm going to ruin the scenery here.
You're going to steal the show from the Koreans. It's now the Tasteless
Here's
show.
What's going to happen is I'm going to be standing, and then eventually they're going to have to start standing. Everybody's going to have to start standing. I'm going to cause this chain reaction. The audience is going to be standing.
Yeah.
That's right. Then I'm going to start casting on stilts, Valdez. I'm just going to keep up in the game.
Yeah. You got to be heads above everybody else.
Going into this match, this is going to be a lot of fun. We have the players already lined up. They've had a lot of time to prepare. Obviously, Pro League, the oldest, and in a lot of ways, the most prestigious esports tournament that there is out there.
Yeah, it's
a lot
been
of history with this.
For like 10, 11 years.
I think 11 years now.
Very, very long time. So it's got that massive history. We're here in Starcraft 2. The game is still alive and well.
That's right. It's kind of exciting. I remember when they first started doing StarCraft 2 Pro League, and I thought, oh man, isn't that cool? Because I think a show like this is never actually going to go away. StarCraft's basically StarCraft is like
as long as there's teams.
Yeah, as long as there are people who will cast it. No, but it's really cool. Because, you know, StarCraft is a game, whether it's 1 or 2, that's never going to go away. It's always been around. And it's great to have this awesome fixture like this where we can really celebrate the two teams coming out, competing against each other, and not just having it be this individual league.
Yeah, and I love the fact that it's regular, too. It's always, generally, at the same time, the same place, you know. And it goes on for the majority of the year, too. So it's a really long tournament that stretches from like February to September, I believe.
That's right. Here's our lineup that we have here today. By the way, guys, tell your friends to come in and join us here for the Pro League. I know a lot of people, GSL is getting a lot of good numbers, but I want us to have more people coming in here and celebrating this team league, this team aspect.
Yeah, it's really cool. I mean, people may not know that it's on Saturday and Sunday now, so you got to spread the word.
Yeah,
get out there.
We've been jumping around a lot. It's kind of crazy because there's so much esports in Korea now. Like, it has grown to this level where there are so many studios doing stuff nonstop all the time. And now with SPO picking up League of Legends, we've had to rotate around some of the StarCraft 2 days.
Yeah, no longer. It started Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, and then it went to Monday, Tuesday, and now it's Saturday, Sunday. So maybe by 2017, 2018, we're going to be on like Wednesday, Friday or something with GSL. That would be weird.
Yeah, who knows, man. So we're going to be jumping into this match pretty quickly. Each of these games is going to be a best of one, and it's going to be really interesting to see what exactly is going to happen with these two guys. I think this is actually going to be a pretty fair fight as well.
Yeah, looking at the lineup, it seemed pretty even. I think I predicted it to go 2-2, so we may have more ace matches. We had 2 ace matches yesterday. It turned into ace match Saturday. But this first game here, Hurricane has just not been showing up recently. He had a really bad time at the SSL Challenger matches too, got knocked out there. And GuMiho's been looking better and better.
GuMiho is a guy who's been around forever, man. This guy is just a very solid, very scary player. I'm still waiting to see if he's going to be able to refine that style a little bit here. And of course, there it is, the classic towel. I actually wonder if there's any record of all the different towels that he's used.
Me and Dayan on top.
Damn, look at me. Well, I'll take that. If I'm straight at 50%, I guess we're just now starting out here. This is going to be interesting, though, as this goes on, because I always end up losing in the percentage polls. I don't know what it is. I'm serious. Have you noticed this?
Yeah.
And the thing is, I have casted so much StarCraft. How am I bad at this, Valdez?
I don't know, man. I don't know.
Maybe this is the comeback. Maybe this is my season. Anyways, let's get ready for game number 1, GuMiho against Hurricane. All right, introing our players here in the upper left. In the blue, it is GuMiho. And then in the bottom right, down here in the blue, it's Hurricane.
And I wanted to give Dahan a high five because we're up on top, but he actually voted for Hurricane, and I can't understand that at all, Tasteless. I thought this was going to be a 7-0 vote, straight for GuMiho, a very straightforward game.
Well,
I suppose someone's got faith in Hurricane still.
Well, the thing about Hurricane is, like, he's actually a very good player. He's just not, like, when you think about Protoss, you're like, oh, damn, I got to go get some Hurricane reps.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Let's go get all the Hurricane VODs. But he's actually a very good player. Got some great coaches on that team as well. So he may have some surprises here. And, of course, in this one, you know what, I'd say in a best of 5, it's much easier to predict who's going to win because you're just going to have more games, right? But, in a best of, one like this, I mean, anything can happen, man.
Yeah, it's very true. Also, GuMiho played a ton of games in his SSL group. There were 4 Protosses in his group, if I remember correctly. So he had to play a lot of TVP, and he showed a lot of the same build over and over. And he's actually doing it this time again with the gas first, kind of this new GuMiho style where he likes to put on the aggression early.
Well, GuMiho's always been this player who can just juggle a lot of tasks, and especially with harass. It's something that a lot of other players mess up. Now, the thing about GuMiho is there's almost no rhyme or reason when he's harassing. But I would say compared to, like, you look at somebody like TY, you're like, oh my God,
this makes so much
everywhere
sense.
Perfectly.
Yeah.
He's just going to do all the right moves and execute it just fine. Whereas you look at, like, GuMiho, and it's like he's just going at this crazy APM.
Yeah.
Speaking of APM here, by the way, it's like Hurricane's been like hovering at 400 APM for almost this entire time, and GuMiho is actually at 30 APM at the start of this game, which is kind of funny.
Yeah.
You notice how there's some players that, like, always start out with like 300 APM.
Some players start at like 700 APM, man.
Yeah.
They're just spamming.
Well, those guys got to
keyboard.
calm down, man.
Yeah,
because
that's the Sierra level.
You only need like about 150 APM if you're just really doing all your moves right now. I mean, there's periods of time, like especially like TVZ or something, where it starts to pick up, and then you do have a lot of tasks to juggle. So, with GuMiho going for that, gas build here, he's now going to land this factory, and he is getting a Cyclone.
Yeah, we saw this a lot in his games up against Protoss.
Yeah.
With the recent buff to the Cyclone where it costs 50 less gas, it's actually not a bad option to start off with. GuMiho likes tanks in this matchup as well, so you can just go straight from a Cyclone into a tank if you want to be safe, or you can just swap that with the barracks right after.
Now, the Cyclone's kind of a funny unit, and I like, we were talking about how my predictions are pretty bad here at SPO, but also when I was looking at this unit, I totally misread the function that this unit was going to have before Legacy came out. I actually thought people were going to be like massing these things up, and you can see right here, this is obviously a huge problem. The Adept, which can normally come out on the map and do damage, can be bullied by the Cyclone. But the thing about the Cyclone is it actually loses a lot of functionality as the game goes further on, right? It's kind of like you get it, you have it, and then what?
It's like a Reaper that's more expensive, but it has more utility. It's a fantastic defensive unit against like, Oracles, Warp Prisms, even Adepts.
It's like an assassination unit,
Look at this. I mean, he's just walking straight up and getting some nice damage down.
And this is interesting to be putting the pressure on the Protoss like this. I don't think I've ever casted a game that looked like this at the start of you. So far?
No.
Cyclone coming out
even
and
when
pushing?
Even when he makes the Cyclone, generally he keeps it at home to defend.
Right.
And I hope he's got something for this Oracle because it's coming in fast.
That's what's weird about it, right? Normally the Cyclone's back to kill exactly that, to get the Oracle. Or like a Warp Prism, it's also great at taking out. But now this Oracle's going to come in here right now. We don't see anything to defend. One ACV goes down now, 2. Actually taking out, looks like a total of 4 so far. Cyclone finally getting back there and then driving that out.
It looks like GuMiho knew the timing of an Oracle build after Nexus on this map, and he probably sniffed it out, and he knew he had to go back home, but he was about 2 seconds late. And that's all it takes in StarCraft. You know, you're 2 seconds late, you're going to lose 4 SCVs. But if that Cyclone is at home, you don't take any damage, really, unless he wants to sacrifice that.
Not only that, you might take out the Oracle there, too.
Yeah.
But I do like that he pushed out with that Cyclone and actually took out the Adept, because we haven't seen that before, but that does make me think, you know, normally in this matchup, at least in the current meta, you can get, the Protoss kind of gets map control when they have the Adepts. Doesn't matter what the matchup is. If you have Adepts out, you're making them. The other player usually can't leave his base, but when I see that Cyclone come out like that, that really makes me wonder, maybe you can actually start to use that and actually shut down the Protoss and keep them on their back foot.
Yeah, you shut down the Adepts, you shut down any harassing units, and I remember in one game he made 2, and I think that's a little bit too much. Just the 1 is really good, especially because you can just swap it right with the racks, as I was saying before. Get that stim out, which he does now have, and he does go into the combat shields.
Here come the medevacs. They are headed southbound, and they are going to be dropping most likely over here at this third base. Now, he might try to unload these outside of the vision and then try to stim and come in there and force a cancel. Pretty ballsy, by the way, by GuMiho. He's actually making the command center out at the expansion instead of making it back home and lifting it. And with Phoenixes out here, this could be really problematic because he can actually kill that SCV and maybe even kill anything that's going to be headed to that way as well.
Well, here comes that drop. He triggers the stasis ward with 1 Marine, and the overcharge is going to push him out, so no damage done there by GuMiho, and a nice defense by Hurricane.
Yeah, good job there by Hurricane. Hurricane actually looking to be in pretty good shape here. Going for the Phoenix Adept. Now, we've seen some of this. Some players, they stay on Phoenix Adept for a while because you can kind of just get in the Terran's face. You run there with all the, you know, Adepts, especially when you get them upgraded, they just do so much damage so fast. And then the Phoenixes, you can pick up any key units that you want to fight a little bit later on. In this case, though, it does look like he's eventually going to segue out of this kind of build. He's actually upgrading Blink here, and it looks like he's going to be eventually going for a more proper Protoss army.
Yeah, I also like the Phoenixes against GuMiho because, as you were saying, there is some rhyme or reason, but he's going to be dropping you all the time, basically. That's what he's about. He's all about this all-out aggression, non-stop dropping, harass. And if you have Phoenixes out there, you're going to shut down a lot of that, especially on this map where it's very good to drop. You can drop behind the natural, you can go into the main on the right side, you could go to the left, to the third base. So you got to be careful about that.
Looks like this Oracle's actually going to be in some trouble here. It does go down. Kind of an odd spot to have that Oracle in to begin with, and I do love this harass here by GuMiho, just taking this out. It's really common for Protosses to make structures up there because you want to lock out and spot for any kind of drops, but of course you can just drop on the low ground and take that out just as easily.
Yeah, kind of just free damage there, scouting that out with the Reaper, and he does pick that up. We do see double upgrades on the way here for Hurricane, and I'm not sure if that was scouted out by GuMiho, but he's only getting his second engineering bay now. So, in fact, he's actually going to be ahead of Hurricane because he started his upgrades earlier, even though it was only on 1 engineering bay. So, it's another nice thing that GuMiho has going for him.
GuMiho looks like he's debating possibly pushing out here. Right now, Hurricane is just sealed up on 3 bases. He wants to get the rest of these upgrades done and out before he can actually start doing anything on the map. Now, I'm actually glad we brought this map back into the tournaments because I think this is probably one of the best maps ever in StarCraft 2. The shape of it and the way that you can move around in it makes inherently for an interesting game. And although this was a big map in Heart of the Swarm, I think it was great that we brought it back here in Legacy of the Void because Legacy of the Void really sped up the whole speed of the game. And actually, Hurricane going to be in a little bit of trouble here. This Warp Prism getting low.
Oh, and he's on the chase now. I think he's got to drop out those Adepts if he wants to save him.
Whoa, that was actually pretty sick. That's like not normally how a Warp Prism goes down.
It was a nice catch by GuMiho to scout that out there in the middle of the map, and now he's going to go for a drop himself.
Okay, GuMiho now dropping in here. Not sure if that was the wise decision right there with the 2 pylons actually triggered, but he does still have, I believe it's 1 Marine down here at the bottom, just doing some damage. Hurricane, on the other hand, is actually moving out. He was headed northbound. He's actually retracting that and going back. Looks like to just try to defend and clean this up.
2 Marines, not going to do much. This is going to go down, just forcing some units back. And it looks like he wants to push towards the third base, but Hurricane is on this. He knows this is coming.
That was the funniest looking force fields I've ever seen. So he actually does get that medevac there. He is chasing him back.
Kills his own stalker, too.
Yeah, there was a lot of funny things that happened back there. It looks like he wants to possibly push out here. We might have to wait until a fourth base is actually taken. I mean, we got 3 base powering Terran and 3 base powering Protoss. Who really has the incentive to attack the other one? I'd say neither, right? You kind of want to stay back. Well, as I say that, though, maybe with Glaives finishing, Hurricane's actually going to do just that.
I don't know if he wants to push in here because...
Well, it seems weird because he's getting Storm now, too, right?
Yeah.
I mean, and that's like something else that's great that you would want to wait for. So
if you can safely get Storm, I think you should just wait for it, right? Just as you're saying. Take a 4th base, get your Storm, and then push in. Maybe he just wants to do a bit of harass because we do see him picking up that 4th base now. It looks like he doesn't want to push in just yet.
We got the Nexus coming down here in the center right. Okay, so it looks like he just wanted to push out and keep Terran in a defensive spot. You know, Terran, a lot of times they want to take that middle base. That's much easier to hold than that one that's more towards the upper right. And so I think the fact that he's just kind of going up there and just keeping an eye on Terran and then back up, that's actually a great play. The Nexus is now halfway done. And it does seem that GuMiho wants to come around now and actually try to hit this base in the bottom. Whoa.
What?
He's a murderer.
Why would you do that?
He killed a little panda bear guy. There's like only
He's
like 2 of those on the map.
I'm never voting for GuMiho again.
He's a murderer. Nice job with the Phoenixes coming in here. Unfortunately, they're bunched up enough. He's going to take a little bit more damage than he would want to. That's kind of meta right there.
Wow.
And now he's going to take out the Cyclone.
Well, there you go.
Game.
Some nice damage there.
All right, well, some revenge finally for those animal-killing Marines. Looks like there's still one there. That's the other one on the map. We just went by that.
And this is going to be taken out pretty easily. Liberators coming forward. And I'm actually kind of liking Hurricane's position here. He's taken this 4th base. He has that Storm now. He's got a very strong army, adding in Immortals too. I think we need to see Ghosts here out of GuMiho, but he's just massing Liberators instead.
Yeah, well, he may want to do a big push. I mean, this is a map, especially if he gets the 4th base here. It's not a long distance to push. It's like one screen length away a lot of the time. So I think getting a good amount of those Liberators might be helpful. Now, this is a very odd attack here, and I do not know what to say, Valdez.
No, this makes no sense.
That was really weird.
There's nothing about that makes sense. You're attacking up a ramp. He's about to have a planetary there. You don't have your Storm. There it is. Speaking of Storm.
Really nice storms there. Storming some of his own units as well. Looks like he wants to continue to push up here. Once again, though, the angling here of the Terran army is just too good. But great work there by Hurricane with the Stalkers, managing to take out all the air that was down there. It looks like he wants to push it again. This is a little bit of a shocker. I don't think that Hurricane can actually ever break up there.
Yeah, now that Liberators are in position guarding that ramp, generally not a good idea to attack into liberation zones. I know Artie McTosis is really big on that.
Artie McFly.
Like, never ever attack into a liberation zone.
Well,
There's
that's the thing. Is like once it's set up, you no longer try to figure out how do I break that. It's like how do I go around this?
Yeah.
I mean,
how do I run away from that unit?
One thing that's great about the Liberator that it kind of harkens back to the old StarCraft days, but Terran always had these strong units that could push but had to get set up first. So really, you want to, if Terran's set up properly, they're the strongest army. But if they're trying to get set up in the right way and you hit them in that moment, that's when they're the weakest. So Liberator kind of delivers that whole Terran experience really well.
Got a drop coming into the main, and there's only a Liberator there. It looks like he's going to warp in some Zealots. And no response here yet from GuMiho. There are his units.
Yep, and he's just going to probably crank out a few more Zealots if he can get this in over here. But this is a pretty insignificant attack, you know what I'm saying? Like another attack coming up here, trying to push through. Nice storms. The Tempest out here, and with the Tempest, he can actually start to poke into the liberation zones. The Liberators actually need more cover.
He may have to start some Viking production to deal with that. He did add in some Ghosts, which is nice, but you can see that there's only 2 High Templar in this mix, so I was talking about Ghosts before, and maybe not such a good idea. Well, he's adding some more High Templar in now, but he's definitely going to have an answer for these Tempests here.
You know, Hurricane can actually win this here. If there's a moment he could take it, this might be it. He can keep poking into this.
Oh,
now,
wow.
luckily for GuMiho, he did make a planetary there. That was definitely a smart play by him. GuMiho going to try to go around. Let's see if these Psy Storms can connect.
Oh, the EMPs get all the High Templar.
And he's doing a great job. And this is where Terran needs to go for the jugular. Actually setting up these liberation zones right over here. Hurricane trying to run away. I think GuMiho made the killing blow back there. 2 Tempests are going to go down, as well as this base here in the center right.
What a fantastic move by GuMiho, just going around that army, knew he could flank it from the left side, and even though Hurricane saw it with an observer, he just couldn't get there in time, and now he's got a massive bio army that's pushing into this fort base.
Yeah, it's the storms that might keep this base alive. I was actually pretty sure he was going to be able to take it out. He still might be able to, even with good storms.
Yeah.
It's really a numbers game at this point in time.
Especially with how many Marauders he's got. He's really fighting against these storms well.
Yeah, if those were all Bruce Marines, it'd be a different story. Because you get 1 or 2 good storms and everything under there just dies. But with the Marauders, he can definitely pick fights when he wants to.
Yeah.
So it seems like he's rotating down now. You know, one thing about the remaining Protoss army, I think there were some Archons and, Immortals over there. That's a slow, clunky army that he's got. So Terran can actually try to run around and maybe even hit this bottom base or possibly go up the ramp. It just depends. But he's going to try to outmaneuver him. And then GuMiho may, with a second attack, try to hit the center right here.
We got 3-3 finishing up for the Protoss, along with the +3 armor for the turn. I'm not sure if he has the attack. Can you actually check that for me here? Just press the G key.
Yeah, here, link that for us here.
Okay, he doesn't have +3 attack. He just has the +3 armor. And you can see a small portion of that army does get cleaned up, but he's actually drawing it to the left side, and it looks like he wants to hit this fort base.
Yep, and this is what I was talking about. He actually gets the army pulled down there at the bottom. And the thing is that GuMiho knows that, of course, Protoss is probably still going to be able to meet him down there. But then with his second attack up here in the center right, there's not enough time for the Immortals and the Archons and Tempests, if there are any still with that army, to actually get up here in time. And now it's a 5-base Terran versus a 3-base Protoss. Valdez, those numbers do not add up well for Hurricane.
No, they do not. And GuMiho's pushing in now. Some storms going down, attempting to keep Hurricane alive. But he's holding on by the skin of his teeth here.
Yeah, it looks like Protoss might be able to drive the army back, but this isn't a Protoss army that's never going to be able to attack. We even see in supplies it's 126, well now 134 to 176. Terran just has too much, and I believe we're going to see GG momentarily here, as there's really just no other remaining options for Hurricane in order to come back and win this game. GuMiho has played a great game, outmaneuvered his opponent, and we should see GG shortly.
He had so many storms, and it just doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter.
Splitting is just too good.
Yeah, he's like everywhere. He's going to take out the Archon, the Immortals, the Tempests, and ultimately the Nexus that's trying to be rebuilt over here in the center right.
Marauder's going to get on top of this army, and he will take out that Nexus and the Tempest. The 2 Immortals are the last standing units, and they will go down as well. Down to 59 supply now is Hurricane.
Yeah, Hurricane. Okay, there we go. GG. He was in there for a little bit longer than I thought he was going to.
He's a survivor, although he did not survive this time around. GuMiho's going to take the win up against Hurricane, kind of what I expected.
Yeah, nicely done. Big win there to start things off for MVP. The high fives all around. And let's see if this momentum can stay with him.
It's good to get that first win for MVP. If they had thrown that over to Hurricane there, if he had lost that game, with Deer coming up here in the second game, I believe, that could have gave Samsung a very big lead at 2-0, and that's never where you want to be against this kind of team.
The thing is, I think most people would suspect GuMiho to win that, so I don't think Samsung's going to be that deterred by this. Let's just see what happens now going into the next few games.
GuMiho forgot to take his stuff out of the booth.
I was actually wondering.
I'm like, you can't play again.
I'm like, that's not how it works, right? Like, something change here?
He's like, this is a best of 5, right?
This is called the GuMiho versus the World Tournament. So, going into the next game here, I don't think that's going to be too much of a morale blow. We're going to have, coming up, though, PvP here, Seed versus Deer. This is going to be very exciting. I just casted some of Seed's games over in the GSL Code 8. Yeah. He's looking very strong. But, of course, this is a very unforgiving format with just one game.
Yeah, I saw some of those games, too. He looked very good, for sure. It looks like he's upping his game, but he is going up against one of the best Protosses we have, Deer.
Yeah, Deer is easily top 3 Protoss in the world right now. Would you disagree?
I think he's like top 10 for sure. I don't know.
Sure he's top.
I don't know
for sure he's top 100. Like he's at least in the top
maybe that
1,000.
Okay, he's like top 6. We'll say that. He's
give
like
me top
six.
4 at least.
No.
Give me some middle ground here. Well, who else is there? There's SOS, even though he's not doing great right now. I mean, I think we can never say that he's not one of the best. There's Zest. Who else is there?
Zest, Patience, or not Patience. Patience is good. Patience had a great day the other day, but like not yet. Okay.
Yeah.
Classic Zest. Definitely 2 big names. I'm struggling to come up with other ideas. Hero.
Apology
Hero.
accepted.
No.
Valdez.
That's top 3 right there. Like Hero, Classic, Zest.
Okay. Whatever, Valdez. I think this is going to be a good match. Seed is definitely the underdog going up against Deer.
Yeah.
But, you know, we've had players. I mean, this guy's a GSL champion. Granted, that was a long time ago. He's certainly somebody who could continue to develop. We've had
Deer,
players,
right?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
We got 2 GSL champions going up head-to-head right now.
I know.
That's
That's
pretty
how
cool.
good everybody is now. The thing is, when Seed became a GSL champion, that was like in the Bronze Age of StarCraft 2. Okay?
Yeah.
That was
before they had real tools and stuff.
That was like
Just
back
like playing with
when
only
basically
zealots.
nerds were discovering fire.
Yeah,
Okay?
pretty much.
It was a different time, and you know, granted, you should never take that away from him. I think it's a different beast now. When Deer won a GSL,